Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys episode 23 of my Let's Play Clash Royale series. Now today, this is my first episode since the new update has come out, so I thought I would show you guys a new deck, and seeing as the Royal Giant is one of the best cards inside of the entire game, if not the best card, let's go ahead and throw it into our deck, upgrade it up to level 5, and even though it's going to be extremely underleveled for where we are, where we're facing level 8s who have level 8 commons, and he's only level 5 right there, definitely worth a shot just because he's so strong right now. And let's go ahead and try him out. Now, upgrading our commons, I also want to upgrade my cannon because I'm going to be seeing a lot of Hog Freeze, as you guys might imagine, inside of this arena. Hog Freeze and Hog Zap was already super popular before the update, and since they didn't really touch on the Hog Rider, even more people are using it now, so the cannon is still a really effective counter, which is why I'm going to upgrade that as my first common up to level 7, but let's go ahead and hop into a battle against the boss, who's a level 7, and to see if we can end up knocking him out. Now, the only card I can play at the beginning is the Musketeer. I don't have my Royal Giant, I don't have my Valkyrie, or I didn't have my Valkyrie in my starting hand, so that's going to start making its way down the lane. He's going to play an Elixir Collector in the top left, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a Valkyrie Musketeer push. Debated on dropping my minions just to see if we wanted to do that, but really not worth it at this point. He's going to play his Bomb Tower, which did get nerfed in the most recent update, so you can see it goes down much easier, and looks like my Musketeer should be able to do a pretty decent job. Alright, so Hog Rider's going down the lane, and I had to drop my cannon a little bit close to my tower because I was worried about the fact that the Hog Rider would just run straight to the tower and my lure wouldn't work, but you can see the Royal Giant's going to finally go down. He actually ends up locking onto the Inferno Tower because he dropped the Inferno Tower after my Royal Giant had crossed the bridge, so really not getting that much damage. We're only going to get a single hit from our minion onto that tower, but really not too bad right now, even though he does have that Elixir Collector on the very top left-hand side. Now, he drops a good game right here. I don't know how confident this guy is thinking that the game is over as he drops that second Elixir Pump, but we're definitely going to have to put him in his place for that. And let's go ahead and start off with another Valkyrie in the very back. Alright, so Valkyrie is much better than a Musketeer as our starting card. You can see I'm preparing the minions in my hand because I assumed he was going to drop a Hog Rider, and having the card in my hand already was much quicker than just going back down and having to swipe it up. I'm going to have my minions help out against that Bomb Tower and the Minion Horde. Arrow's going to go down to stop that Minion Horde as well, while my Valkyrie takes off a little bit of damage against that Bomb Tower, and his Spear Goblins are all but wasted in the very center of the map. Okay, so right here, we've got 15 seconds left until double elixir. We can finally start a proper Royal Giant push, which is going to happen by dropping it in the very back. We're going to give him plenty of time to get towards the bridge. That also is going to give me time to get some reinforcement troops to drop behind him or in front of him. Personally, I think the Valkyrie in front of the Royal Giant is pretty strong to deal with a lot of the squishies. The Baby Dragon is pretty decent with the Royal Giant as well. And as we start making our way down the lane, I know that the Inferno Tower isn't going to be able to hit my Royal Giant, but it would have been able to lock onto my Baby Dragon, which is why I ended up dropping those goblins to distract the Inferno Tower, and now we have a Baby Dragon, we have our Royal Giant, we have a Musketeer, and even some minions running down the lane and doing a pretty awesome amount of damage towards the tower. So he ends up dropping a free spell. I'm just going to drop another Royal Giant on top of him. You can see that it's going to start shooting away at that Inferno Tower and doing some massive work. I drop my Goblins as soon as that Bomb Tower goes down. A little bit unfortunate, but at this point we're sort of starting to spam. I give him the thumbs up, sort of a play on that good game he sent me earlier, and as the Royal Giant gets close to the tower, it's going to end up getting 2 shots off and bringing it down to 1100 HP. Alright, so things are fine right now. I've got the Valkyrie down. You can see I dropped that cannon in the very center and got a really nice lure onto that Hog Rider. He's going to play the free spell, which was honestly pretty greedy. It's actually, the Hog Rider's going to die without me having to do anything. I actually think that his free spell missed my left-hand tower, and then now the Musketeer is just going to get some free damage. I'll drop my Baby Dragon to counter this Minion Horde right here, and as he starts pushing on the left, I'm not even going to look at those Spear Goblins because I don't really need to protect that tower too much. It's only going to do a maximum of like 300 damage, and seeing as my Royal Giant, my Valkyries, are much better suited to attack on this right-hand side, we're going to go ahead and drop those. We've got the minions going down. We've got the arrows in our hand in case he drops something like the Minion Horde, and we're sort of piloting our way through right now as those arrows go down, and just trying to make our way to the tower. The Musketeer's helping out, and with 25 seconds left in overtime, the Royal Giant is going crazy. We got the Musketeer on the tower, and with only one more hit, the tower goes down, and we end up taking him out. So definitely an early good game by our friend the boss right here, as we ended up taking him out for 40 trophies, 15 gold victory bonus on this account for being inside of Arena 6, and yeah, pretty solid stuff inside of our first battle on this account. So with that 1 crown win, that's going to put us at 8 out of 10 crowns for our crown chest. Honestly, I think we could probably get our crown chest today with either 1 or 2 more victories. And as you guys know, inside of the new update, the crown chest rewards have been doubled. So we should be able to get a pretty decent haul inside of an Arena 6 crown chest. Now, of course, we're 1 win away from the Royal Arena, which I've never been to on this account. So hopefully we can do that right now. We're going to drop a Royal Giant in the very back. And going off against a level 7, we definitely have a pretty decent shot. Now, he drops an interesting card right here. He drops the Giant, and I'm sort of debating what I should do. I've got a couple of options. I could put my Valkyrie up front, I could put my minions behind, I could do my Baby Dragon, I could do any of my cards. I opt up doing the arrows as well as the minions, and take a look as the minion horde goes down, and we end up getting an absolutely insane amount of value, taking out both the minion horde as well as those goblins. So things went almost perfectly right there. He actually has a really nice counter to all my squishy stuff with the wizard, but we ended up taking out a lot of stuff. We're going to drop our Valkyrie to help out against the wizard and Hog Rider push. Unfortunately, the wizard does lock on to our cannon, and it does a pretty significant amount of damage there, but still, we got that Valkyrie running down the lane, we've got the minions. He'll end up having to poison those out, and it will sort of just reset from here. So 1 hit against the tower with the Valkyrie, and taking a look at where we are, 1347 on his, 1797 on mine, and I'm pretty sure I have an elixir advantage going into the next couple of hands. Okay, so let's get ready to drop the Royal Giant, and debating on where to drop it. I see a lot of people play in the very front, so I'm going to try that right now, and as you might imagine, things didn't really turn out too well. The Royal Giant's only going to get a single hit off on the tower, which cost me 6 elixir for that Royal Giant. Luckily, the Baby Dragon is a perfect counter to these barbarians. He ends up dropping a free spell to try to help out, and does get a couple of hits off against the tower, but now I've got a massive push going down the right-hand lane of 10 elixir, 4 for the Baby Dragon, 4 for the Musketeer, 2 for the Goblins, and he doesn't have anything good to counter that. So the first tower of the game's gone down. He's got the Giant rumbling down the lane with nothing to really protect it. Minions will help. Goblin's going to help out as well, and with a minute left in this game, let's go ahead and start pressuring the other side of the map, because if we end up taking that second tower, that's going to give us the crown chest that we need to end up opening that up, and hopefully we get some good rewards inside of there for Arena 7, because we will be Arena 7 if we end up winning this battle. Alright, so Barbarians, or sorry, the Hog Rider as well as the Goblin's going to go down. We'll drop the Valkyrie to end up countering that push. Valkyrie plus Cannon is the perfect counter to Hog Rider plus Goblins. It's going to end up killing their entire push. It only costs 1 elixir more, and if you do it right, you should have a full health Valkyrie running down the lane, which of course he had to respond with that minion horde. Okay, so Giant's going down. I don't even care about that Giant. I don't care if he gets massive amounts of hits off against the tower. I'm really trying to take the second tower out. So we got the Baby Dragon and the Musketeer running down the lane. Looks like he's going to drop another Hog Rider, which I will defend with the cannon just to make sure we get that second tower on the left. I dropped the Royal Giant sort of right in front of the bridge. I should have dropped him on his side of the map, and it actually will instantly shoot that left-hand tower. So a little bit of a slight mistake right there, but still a 2 crown to 0 victory against this guy right here, and that's going to give us the trophies that we need to finally make our way up to Royal Arena. And yeah, it feels really weird reaching Royal Arena for the first time using a level 5 Royal Giant. Alright, so going to the Royal Arena, you can see we unlocked the 3 Musketeers, Dark Prince, as well as the Guard. And for the card, I forget exactly what legendary, I think it's the Princess that we unlock right here. Not that we're going to get it, but you can also see the Royal Giant is supposed to unlock in Arena 7, and I've never been to Arena 7 on this account, so I don't know why I already had the Royal Giant at Arena 6. Maybe they just changed that and moved the Royal Giant from Arena 6 to Arena 7 in the last update, but that was sort of weird. Anyways, opening up this crown chest, we're going to get a lot of minions, a couple of Hog Riders right there, and definitely a pretty solid haul. And let's go ahead and get ready to get into one more battle. Again, as far as my deck goes, I can upgrade my minions into only 9 more cards, which is pretty nice. And you can see right now, 2023, like I was saying, is the highest trophies I've ever been at. So I don't know why the Royal Giant was already unlocked. But for the final battle of the day, we're going to get into one with a level 8 right here. And this is going to be extremely rough. I've got a level 5 Royal Giant and as my common. And this guy probably has level 8 commons on his account. So he's going to drop an Elixir Collector in the very center and to sort of just set up for the rest of the match. Now, the Elixir Collector is only level 4, and for a level 8, I would expect him to have level 6 rares, but there's the Sparky, and I have absolutely nothing to counter this with, so I dropped the sad emoji, and I know it's coming. The Sparky is just going to go crazy. I've got my Baby Dragon that'll help out against these Barbarians, and to be honest, this deck is extremely poor against Sparky. I have The goblins are really my only counter right here. If you see, I had to drop them right in front of the Sparky just to make sure that it didn't kill my Valkyrie as well as damage my tower. But this is going to be a really rough battle, so we're going to have to see how long we can hold on for in the very beginning. So honestly, a pretty nice defense right there, but keep in mind he does have the elixir pump down, which is going to be giving him a pretty solid flow of elixir from here on out. I think he just broke even on it, so for the rest of the time he's going to be making bank. And there goes another elixir collector, and I am in some serious trouble going into the rest of this match. I could start off with my Valkyrie or my Royal Giant in the very back. He's going to end up playing a bomb tower and get a little bit of defense down. So it's going to be pretty tough to deal with. He can always use the Sparky and the Barbarians to take out my Royal Giant. And since the Sparky is such a good defensive card, unless you have a Zap or a Free Spell, by the way, the Zap is the best counter in the entire game to the Sparky, it's really going to be a tough one to deal with. I have none of the proper counters right now, and plus my Royal Giant is only a meager level 5, so he's just going to end up getting blasted. We've got Sparky going down. The arrows probably have a little bit of value there, so I ended up using those on all of his troops. We have to drop the goblins to help out against the Sparky, the Valkyrie as well, and the Sparky actually is going to lock onto the tower and end up doing so much damage. What the heck was that? The first hit with the Sparky took my tower down to 30% hit points. We'll get a little bit of damage with our Valkyrie in the back, and we'll start dropping our Musketeer, but from this point on, I think we are just sort of out of luck. We've got the Musketeer and the Baby Dragon. He's just going to Fireball down my Musketeer, so he could just cycle Fireball for the rest of the game and win. I don't have a really realistic option to try to push his tower because my Royal Giant is just going to get blasted by the Sparky, as you guys are about to find out in a second. Deciding on if I want to draw my arrows, can't really get any value from those Barbarians. Royal Giant's going to walk up and get a single shot off against the tower, but from this point on, he's got full health Barbarians, he's got a full health Sparky, he's got the Wizard right there. I have to drop my Goblins to reset the Sparky. I've got my Valkyrie also helping out right here, but she's going to get blasted in just a moment. Minions are going to try their best to stop the Sparky, but he's going to end up getting that shot off, and that's going to be my first tower of the game. So we did our best. I don't really know what else I could have done there. Honestly, combination of my deck not being a good deck to play against Sparky, as well as the level difference, I think I was sort of just in trouble. So I threw some arrows at his tower and gave him a thumbs up. Good game against him, and that's only going to be 28 trophies for losing that battle. So not too big of a deal. And again, we are still in the Royal Arena. I think you have to lose like 50 trophies below or 100 below to get kicked out of it. So being in Arena 7, we're going to get better chests. We'll get better crown chests. We'll get all that stuff, even more gold per win and more donations that we can receive. So I'm really happy with all that stuff. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. This deck is pretty fun. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's a lot better decks that cycle around the Royal Giant with a lot of small cards. They bring the Zap and they bring other stuff like that. So I'll be trying those out sometime soon. But I definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about this update. If you guys are in Arena 7 and Arena 6 and you think you have a pretty sick deck, let me know in the comment section below or send me a tweet at ChiefPat on Twitter, and I'll be sure to check it out, switch up my deck towards the next video, and to see if we can keep grinding those trophies. That's going to do it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.